us today study about the features of kingdom Animalia, that is all the animals present on earth. All of them are multicellular, that means their body is made up of more than one cell. Then they are eukaryotic because their nuclear material or DNA is enclosed within a nucleus. They have a well-defined nucleus. Then they are heterotrophic. They cannot make their own food. They depend on other plant or animals for food. Usually most of the animals are mobile. They can move from one place to another or locomote, except a few which are sponges and corals in the marine water. They are non-mobile or sessile. Now coming to the differences between the main two categories of animals, that is invertebrata and vertebrata. Invertebrates or vertebrates, depending on the backbone, tail, heart, there are a lot of differences. In invertebrates there is no backbone, whereas vertebrata or chordata have a backbone. Tail is no tail in invertebrates, whereas tail is present in most of the vertebrates except humans, apes. Then heart is on the dorsal side in the invertebrates and it's on the ventral side in the vertebrates. Then there is no spinal cord in the invertebrates, and spinal cord is present inside the backbone in the vertebrates. Limbs are 3 to 4 or more pairs in the invertebrates. There may be hundreds of legs in millipedes and all. Then only 2 pair of legs in the vertebrates. They may be modified as wings, etc. Now hemoglobin in invertebrates, it is dissolved in the blood, whereas in the vertebrates it is inside the RBCs, red blood corpuscles. There are about 1 to 8 phyla of invertebrates. We are learning each one in detail. Now the first one is Porifera. They are simple organisms which are multicellular, and their body is just a hollow tube-like structure with many holes or pores on its body. So what happens is the water along with food enters through these pores on all the sides, and there is a main opening on the in the surface, that is for the extra water to move out or whatever is not required to move out of the body. So they have a inside skeleton which is made up of spicules, and it is elastic and spongy in fibers. It's not like bones. Now most of them are marine, most of the poriferans are marine, except a few which are in the fresh water. Some of them are cycon, examples, bath sponge, all the sponges in the marine water. Then Euspongia, etc. Now coming to the next one is Cnidaria or Coelenterata, which is having a sac-like body, and they have 2-layered cell structure in the body. That is, their body is 2-layered. They have a body wall inside the body. That is, example is Hydra and some other jellyfish, sea anemone, corals, etc. They have a mouth at one end which is surrounded by tentacles to catch food, or even to take care during if an enemy is around, they will tackle the enemy also with the tentacles. Now coming to the next one, this cavity inside the body is called coelenteron. Now coming to the next one is, these are mostly marine and few are freshwater. And corals are hard skeleton. Sometimes they are used as the ornamental pieces, which is made up of calcium carbonate, and they turn hard when they are removed from the water. Now the next 3 groups are worm groups, because they have a crawling or creeping body. So the 3 groups are flatworms. Then these are roundworms and segmented worms. All these are worms. The movement is similar, but in the first one, Platyhelminthes, their body is flat and they do not have inside a coelom or a cavity. Their body is just flat like a leaf. Now in the second one, it is having a cavity inside, or a false body cavity, or there is no true body cavity called coelom. And in the third one, there is a proper body cavity, and this is segmented. This both are unsegmented. Now coming to the body structure, it is soft in all of them. This is very small, and most of them are parasites. Few are free living, like the liver fluke and the tapeworm are parasites in the sheep and men respectively, and the others are free living, that is planarians. Now in the nematoda, the roundworms are mostly parasites, that is ascaris and hookworm are parasites in the humans, whereas eelworm is a parasite in the potato plant. And Annelida are leech or earthworm, which are actually not parasites, they are free living. And Nereis, now they have a segmented body and they can move with the help of the segments, and they are living in the soil. Now some of them, nematoda, also live in the soil, and all of them have proper one opening, that is the mouth. Mostly they are parasitic and free living in the soil, and only earthworm have the mouth as well as the anus. Now earthworm is of economic importance, because they are also called a farmer's friend, because they are aerating the soil. When they eat the soil, they aerate the soil. At the same time, they eat and digest and throw out the castings along with the humus, makes the soil fertile. They avoid light because they are nocturnal, and they can crawl on the surface of the soil only at night time. Now they breathe by skin, so they cannot live in dry soil. The soil has to be moist or damp, because they breathe by the moist skin. So they make burrows in the soil and live there and eat throughout the soil. Now one of the important species is Perithema posthuma, which is long cylindrical. They have about 80 to 100 segments. There's no head, there's no eyes, no appendages or legs, no tail, no jaws. Only mouth and anus is present, but they have a very developed digestive system. So the soil is taken in, digested well, and thrown out. Nature earthworm, there is a thick cylindrical band in the segments 14 to 16. That is for reproduction. Now the next one is phylum Arthropoda, that is they have jointed legs. If you look carefully, the legs will have joints in between. For example, crabs, prawns, insects, centipede. Now depending on the pair of legs, they are again divided into 4 groups. One is crustacea, then they have 5 pair of legs. Then is insecta, which has 3 pair of legs. Then is arachnida, which has 4 pair of legs, that is spider. And we have a last group under Arthropoda, that is Myriapoda. They have many legs, like centipede, millipede, etc. Now this is the largest group, very important, the largest group in the animal kingdom, because they are very small or tiny in size, and also because they eat less, so they can survive. So they are abundance. In the all of the animal kingdom, arthropods are abundant. Now coming to their exoskeleton, because their body is soft inside, they have a hard crustaceous covering, that is, exoskeleton is made up of a substance called chitin, which gives them the hard appearance or structure. All of them, arthropods, undergo a process called molting or ecdysis, because in the growing age, as the body grows, the skin will not grow out. This exoskeleton doesn't grow, so they have to shed off the exoskeleton to fit in that body. So a new one is replaced. The old one is replaced by a new one. So this is also called ecdysis. Just like the snake sometimes leaves the skin, so same way they mold the skin and they get a new one. Now this casting of the skin or the exoskeleton is called molting or ecdysis. Coming to the next one is mollusk or mollusca. You must have eaten this clams, then squids, etc. Even octopus belongs to this, oysters, mussel, then squid, slug, snail. All these belong to mollusk. They have a very soft body, and some of them have a hard shell, which is calcareous shell, to protect the body. Not like the crustaceans or arthropoda. They have a shell which is protective in function and also for defense. So they have unsegmented soft body, the mollusks, and they have a hard calcareous shell. They move with the help of a muscular foot. This is a muscular foot. If you see in a snail, now the foot, this muscular foot allows them for locomotion as well as to move away from the enemies. So it is also used as a weapon against the enemies. Now the last one, the 8th invertebrate phylum, is Echinodermata. Their body is spiny. They are all spines. Exoskeleton is spiny. Their examples are starfish, brittlefish. Then there is the sea urchin and the sea cucumber, which is mostly marine, and they are unsegmented. The locomotion is done by something called tube feet. There are many tube feet for locomotion. The body is radially symmetrical. That is, if you cut it in any plane, it will be same in any plane. If you cut the body, that is the starfish, which has 5 pointed structures. If you cut in any plane, both the sides will be same in radially symmetrical body. So the 5 parts are arranged around a central point. Now when you finish viewing this video, just complete the progress check on page number 76. So we'll be doing vertebrata in the next class.